In 1931, the great inventor Thomas Edison passed away, leaving something other than birth as his legacy. It is, as the most well-known quote, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." This quote had been a huge help whenever I am frustrated about my insignificant artistic talent. Before I found it is actually emphasizing the significance of talent, not an effort. Thomas Edison betrayed me. It is tough to come with a more talented person than you. Even in the outfield, it's more so. And meanwhile, I became curious about how others doing with this issue in my studio, so I decided to just ask them. Here is Josh Fairbanks and Karina Ibarra.
My name is Josh Fairbanks. I am a senior in the painting program here at the University of Illinois, and I'm going to be graduating in a few weeks. Very excited about that. I work in a lot of different mediums, from painting to sculpture to installation and all kinds, like everything in between. It's a lot of different mediums. That's a hard one. Kind of have to set humility aside for a second to think about that, but also it's interesting to think of the word talent. I don't know if that's valid anymore in some ways. I think maybe the better word would be tenacity. If you have enough tenacity to persevere and to keep going and to have a drive, I think that's maybe more of a poignant thing for contemporary art. Yeah, well, early on when I got into art, I very much thought that there was there's like a certain aesthetic, like they drew something very realistically or they rendered it really realistically, and I couldn't do that right at that time, and so I was very envious of that. And but I think, again, kind of going back to what I was saying, that I kind of realized that what I thought of as good is very unique to what I think. It's kind of my beliefs. And good can be thought of in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I mean, I felt a little insecure, and I had this notion that realism or things like that were the benchmark of a quality of good, and I would try really hard to do that, and sometimes I felt deficient that I couldn't maybe do that, but I kind of realized that maybe that wasn't my strong suit in art. Maybe I had a different way of doing things, and just try to follow my strengths rather than dwell on my weaknesses. Well, I mean, there wasn't anyone in particular that I felt like I was in competition with. It really became a competition with myself, what I felt like I could do and how could I outdo what I had just done. And so I think that was the competitive edge that I had, was with myself, and I realized that art making was really a personal thing, and that I didn't really have competitors. Everyone was doing their own thing, and I didn't want to compete with anyone else except for my own self. So I really kind of turned it inward and just kind of thought, well, what makes me happy, or what things do I like visually or aesthetically that I want to work towards and improve upon, I think. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I actually have 2 nieces that are very much into art right now, and they like to show me their drawings, and they're actually in competition with each other of who could draw better, and and I'm the judge of who could draw better. They come to me and they're like, whose drawing's better? And I have to remind them that that's not really a thing. It's they're both good. They can both have equal merit, because it came from a place that they wanted it to, whether they're expressing an emotion or trying to draw an idea or a story or something. These are all fine. And not to kind of burn out that notion that there is such a thing as you can qualitatively say that this is better than this, and I think that's really hard to do in art. And so trying to teach young children just to do what they do and just do it well, and don't try to be in competition with others, I think is probably the best message I could give.
Okay.
So my name is Karina Ibarra. I'm a senior in painting and art education, and right now I'm working on finishing school with projects and things like that.
Exciting.
I would say, yeah, talented. of felt when I came here, you know, because I feel like a lot of us were the most talented in like art, because all of us are in the art at our high school or at our whatever place we came before coming here. And then coming here, you're just put in a place where there's all these people, all these students that are just as talented, if not more talented. Mm-hmm. And so I've gotten that, yeah, I've felt that a lot, but it's like, sometimes it does, like, you know, you beat yourself up because you want to be just as good as the other people. But I think for the most part, it inspires me to work harder. Well, I guess I would say that I don't know if I feel like I'm trying to compete with them or try to be better than these people, than like my peers, because I think it's just like I want to work just as hard so that, I don't know, I want others to feel like how I feel about them, you know, like I want them to see my work and think like, whoa, that's something that I want to work towards, you know, getting just as good at. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like somebody who's a painter. It could be like somebody who's doing, I don't know, new media or something like totally different. But see that and then feel inspired to do something in their own studios. So yeah, I mean, I think we're all constantly working towards getting better, but I don't think it's like, do you want me to keep looking this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the best advice is just like what we constantly hear from our teachers and from everyone. It's just like you only get better by working more, doing more. I think constantly being aware of things that are going on, not being afraid of going and asking people like questions if somebody's doing something that you really like, or that you're really in awe by. Go and ask them like, how'd you do that? You know, like don't be afraid of going over to they're doing something cool and you want to learn how to do that, or if you just want to learn their process, go and ask them. So not being afraid to ask questions, and constantly working, and practice, you know, comes with that, and not being afraid to do something that isn't expected. I think sometimes we're afraid of taking like risks because we're not sure how it's going to turn out, whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's like painting or sculpture or something, or new media. I think we should constantly just try new things because we're in a space where it's okay to try new things, and so that's the only way that I think we can all grow and become better artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.